That man has got the life of Riley here. Look at that. Good morning guys, and welcome back to another episode of Berham Engines. So guys, you've got to stay tuned for today's video. We got three surprises. We got one surprise for you first of all, and that is that we have bought a new machine, and it's something that most of you have been going on about for quite some time. Secondly, we've got a surprise for John, because the machine that we bought, he doesn't even know that's coming yet, so we're going to see what his reaction is. And the third surprise is that we've got John, who's coming on the camera, and he looks like he's a bit excited about being on the camera, and he may even get involved in the future, so look out for that. But let's get in the workshop, see what we've got going on. Right, so we've been blasting a few bits here for the Cosworth for Mark that I've been doing. So we've just got to clean all these up, paint the pulleys and what have you black, paint the covers silver, and just leave these as they are, but obviously painted. We're going to paint that silver as well, the thermostat housing. Over here, you can see we've got most of the bits now. So we've got the cam bout kit, we've got the PTFE rear seal, some seals and gaskets there, obviously headset. We've got the Victor Rines multi-layer steel gasket, which we always use. We've got all the crank bearings. So these are all at 0.5 because that's what the crank is, standard thrusts. We've got an oil pump coming. Obviously the pistons here, we've got to put cutouts in. See, we've cleaned up. This was a pretty new water pump, to be honest, so I've just cleaned that up nicely. I've cleaned the oil cooler, cleaned up the mains caps, and the block is over here, guys. The head, we've got the guides for there now, so we're just going to get those guides in there this morning, cut the seats, skim the head, finish that one off. And this one here, you can see at 0.5, the bores have cleaned absolutely perfect. The face, I've given a 3 thou lick over, and that has cleaned perfect. And what we normally do is inspect in between the water jacket and the bolt holes on all 10 of the bolt holes, and this one seems to be as good as gold. So this one, as I say, we're just cleaning at a 3 thou lick. This has not been treated badly, this block. It hasn't been running big power, and it hasn't pulled too much up around here, so hopefully there's plenty of life left in this block. So we're just going to whip the core plugs out. Going to take the take all the ball out the back, all the core plugs out, clean it thoroughly once we've honed it, and then we can get this one, once it's cleaned, we can get it on the stand and get building this thing. Isaac, before we polish the crank, Isaac's got the crank over there. He's just going to balance the crank assembly for me, then I'll get John to polish the crank. But this is, as I say, this is at 0.5 on all of them. Unfortunately, it measures perfect. So all I got to do now, guys, is size the rods. I've cleaned them all up. So yeah, I shall torque them up, size them. So I would have thought by the end of this week, we should be well on the way with this motor. Paul's in Friday now. So what I'm going to probably do is get Isaac to do the head on this Focus Mark III RS, do the head on that. So it's all pretty much getting there for when Paul's in Friday. The bits should arrive this week and he can crack on and build that, because that is, that's got to be done really by the end of next week. So, so that's the next one. Right guys, you've probably been wondering what's happening with the Techno Wash sitting behind this stand here for God knows how long now. So the story is with the Techno Wash, the pump packed up, or the pump, I think the pump and the pump motor, which we got done, but we just never got round to plumbing it in. The one reason I didn't bother plumbing it in is because once the electric prices went up drastically, although they have gone down slightly, this thing was working out to cost about £100 a week, probably £150 a week in electric, because it's not the best thing insulation wise. So we've just been scratching our heads on whether to get rid of it. I mean, it's pretty old now. The way it works is inside the door comes down, sort of sits about here, then a tray comes out, you put whatever in, put the tray in, and then underneath is a big sort of bar that spins itself under water pressure. In the middle of that is a big bronze sort of spacer, I would say, but that wears quite frequently, so you have to replace that. It's a bit of a nuisance, and as I say, it's just the insulation side of it. So John goes through periods where he suggests things we should buy, and he come across this place, or got a phone call, I think, from someone who watches our channel from a company, and they got another, I think it's a Techno wash, but a sort of lift up lid jobby, very modern, only about 6 years old, I think, but very little use. I think they used it for about a year and then didn't use it again, so it's pretty much brand new. John suggested that I give him a ring back, which I did. We did a deal and I bought it, and the thing arrives today. So the only thing is, and this is a little bit cruel really, but Isaac and I, we've bought him a present. He wanted it. We obviously haven't got rid of the old Techno wash yet, so that needs to go. So if any of you want a washing machine, it's going to be really, really cheap. Just take it away. But yeah, it's arriving this morning. So what I'm going to do is just video John's face. I haven't told him it's arriving. I'm just going to video him once it turns up and see what he says, because at this point, we've not really got anywhere to put it. So we've got to move that somehow. We're going to have to hire a forklift. So what we're doing at the minute is just making a big space here, making a space at the back, and we're going to have to put it just in front of the ramp for a second. Cruel, I know, but that's just what I'm like sometimes. But what we're going to do is just see John's reaction when this thing turns up. While we're making a space for the new washing machine, or John's new present, hey, we've got the bits for the Focus Mark III now. So the pistons are turned up, the JE ones. We've been waiting for them for a week and a half. So all I've got to do now is size and balance the rods, bore the block. Now I've got the pistons, and face that. I'll hopefully get that done today. And then that's ready for Paul on Friday once he comes in to get on with. Isaac's kindly put the Cosworth block on a stand. So I've cleaned that yesterday. I'm going to give it another blow through. John's just got to polish the crank, which Isaac, again, kindly balanced yesterday. But we've got most of the bits for that. Yeah, we've got the pistons. I've got to put some pockets in there later on, and then I can get this bottom end put together really. So yeah, all we've got to do is move this. Isaac is getting the Vauxhall on a stand, which, to be honest, I completely forgot who that's for, but I'm sure it's another go through. We've got the Focus Mark 1, we've got a shift. Probably going to put all our E30 bits upstairs in a minute and make a bit more space. Move this Cosworth, because as soon as I've finished Mark's Cosworth, then I'm going to do this one here. So that's another one out the way. So yeah, the new washing machine is going to have to go here, but let's just wait for John's reaction, shall we? So it looks like the washing machine has turned up. Let's go and get John. We have a big lorry turn up, John.
Sorry?
We've got a big lorry turned up here. Well done, buddy. So this, I think, is the VX220. Out of that the little two-seater, yeah, 2.2. I forget the name of the company that sent it now, but they specialise in these things. So yeah, this is a go-through. I think we want some trick bits in it, so that'd be interesting. I've never got involved with one of them before, so pretty good. Right over here, I've got the. So I've just put the Mark III Focus RS block on the boring bar. We've got the pistons here. So the pistons come with paperwork. So what I normally do to set up, I've obviously got the cat's paws down there, the right size, centered it, locked it all up. And now what we're going to do is set the tools. So the paperwork, what we do, we look at it, it says the bore is 3.465. And then you go over here to the running clearance. And the running clearance, it suggests is 4 thou on these. So what I normally do is just to never assume that it's all going to be good. So what I normally do is try and do this with one hand. I just confirm by measuring the skirt. So you want to go about 5 or 10 mil up from the very bottom of the skirt. That's 3.461. So if we add 4 thou to that, that would be 3.465. So that is absolutely cock on, and that's what we're going to bore it to. So what I do, this tool, as I've said to you in the past, whatever we set it at, it will leave about 2.5 thou in there. So if I set it to exactly 3.465, then that is going to leave 2 thou in the bore for me to hone out, and that'll be absolutely cock on. Okay, so now the Ford is being bored. We've got another set of pistons here, which are Manley pistons, and these are for a BMW. That a company called Deutschwerks. You've probably heard of them if you're into the tuning game. They've come over. I think they're in South Wales. I've got a feeling, but he's bought this over, and this needs a rebore. It's a BMW 6-cylinder. What it is, I do not know. I know it sounds ridiculous, but I said I'd get this bored within a day or two. So I bored this out. It's only to 0.5. Just got to do the same as what I've done on the Ford and just check the running clearance of these, and then get this thing honed, and that's ready for them to collect. Does it go on that tail lift then, or no?
What it is, it's going to overhang. That's the only issue I had when I loaded it, and I says to him, you do read, and he says, oh yeah, I'll be all right. The guys,
There we go. Apparently it's,
that's what it is.
The main bit's half a ton.
Like I say, that is 500 kilo.
Right.
And just that machine, then you got that little piece.
So how did you get it on here? Forklift?
Yeah, they had a forklift there, so we opened the side curtain and you just put it on with the forklift.
I'm just trying to think how we're going to get that off then. Get John to come out and have a look, because he don't even know it's coming yet. Might need your help here, John. Might need your help.
Oh, bloody hell.
We bought you a birthday present.
Right, I'm on my way. The cleaner.
Hence making the room.
One question, Lee. Where the hell are we going to put it?
You've got that.
Well.
That's part of you.
Oh, look at that. Threw it in.
That's the easy item.
Oh, bloody hell. Probably a couple of quid's worth of cleaning stuff there. So what do you reckon, John? You happy about that?
All right, magic, but where are we putting it?
Well, I don't know. For a minute, we're going to have to put it over there, in front of the ramp.
Where?
Front of the ramp for a minute. while we find out where to put that. I've advertised it.
You have? Good man.
It's going to have to be free of charge in a minute.
Yeah. Come and take it away, Cobby.
So yeah, the problem we got is we've got no forklift on the estate. As you can see, the tail lift is not big enough, so we're going to have to put some blocks of wood across here and sort of hold the one end while he lowers the tail lift. Great fun.
As you can probably tell, we've really been into the logistics of this.
Not. Yeah, so you've got to try and spin it round. Basically, the problem is it's slightly longer than the tail lift, so we've got to try and put it on here and steady this end while we lower it. Let's just hope there's no health and safety watching. And he actually spoke to the camera. And at the moment, he's looking pleased that we've got it, but he's just wondering what we're going to do with it. So let's go and get Isaac out of the car. Come on, mate. Got to get John's birthday present off. And it's slightly bigger than the tail lift, so we've got to steady it. Look at him. He's looking happy, but not happy. Here we go. Right guys, so I've just faced the block for the Focus Mark 3 RS, and interestingly, this thing was a suspected head gasket, or it did blow a head gasket. Now for one of these, this is unusual, but this is what we found after a 3 thou cut. You can see there where it hasn't cleaned around this area, so that block has sunk in there where it's properly overheated. We haven't faced the head yet, we've only just started cleaning it up, but I'm suspecting that the head is exactly the same as that, so we're going to have to, obviously we will anyway, do a dummy build and maybe modify the top of the pistons, although the pistons in these blocks do sit lower anyway, so we'll have a look, check the valve to piston clearance and sort it all out. But yeah, that's unusual for a block like this really. Because this is a 2 litre block, you can see there where it's had a bit of welding. Obviously they've filled in that jacket there. I suppose you need to with using the head off the 2.3, but yeah, that is the reason for the head gasket blowing, guys. So there we go, guys. The Techno Wash has arrived. As you can see, it's a big bugger. This thing's about 6 years old, and it's only been used for a year and not very much. So it's pretty new, this. We got it at a bargain price of about a sixth of what it cost originally. Luckily, John, I'll be honest with you, now we've cleared some space, it's not taken up as much room as I imagined it would. So fortunately, John looked more happy than not happy that it's arrived, but yeah, we're gonna have to find someone to take away our other Techno Wash to make room for this one. But yeah, let me know what you think in the comments, guys. It's going to save us a visit from the environmental health, you'd be pleased to know. So obviously the stuff that we've been cleaning where we maybe shouldn't, we're not going to be obviously doing that anymore. It's all going to go in here, run a strong detergent. So we'll wash it here. The only thing we will take it outside to do is, obviously, if we soda blast it, we shall wash off the soda in there. But no, looks a really good bit of kit. I've kept it quiet from you lot, but I'm sure many of you that have been commenting in the past videos about us washing stuff maybe where we shouldn't will be really glad to see that we've got this. So another good purchase. But yeah, that's it for another video, guys. Until Friday, have a great evening and we'll see you then. Cheers, guys.